What is going on, guys? Thank y'all so much for joining me today. So Mazda has sent me the 2019 CX-9 Signature. This is Mazda's flagship SUV. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys why this is the most luxurious mainstream SUV that you can buy. First of all, big thank you to Mazda for sending me this car to review for you guys. If you check the link in my description, that will take you straight to their website. You can spec out your own CX-9, make it exactly the way you want it, and see how much it's going to cost you. But starting with this exact vehicle, this is the Signature version, so most decked out CX-9 you can get. It's finished off in machine gray, which is one of the best grays I've ever seen. I know I say that about a lot of paint colors, which is hard not to because the manufacturers always send me their best paint coats. But this gray is hands down the nicest gray I've ever seen. It looks almost concept car-like in the way that it just has such a liquid metallic look to it, and it just creates this sheen that is so beautiful. It's just such a great car, and it really just sticks to the lines on this vehicle. Now, coming to the front, you have the exact same front end as the previous 2-year models. So you've got the Kodo design language, you've got that huge beak style grille coming up in the front, you've got these bars coming through the middle, so you guys can see that there. Looks really good. You have this giant Mazda emblem in the middle, which is going to house a lot of your radars. And then you even have a camera right underneath that, which is new for 2019. You can see that there. That is going to be for your 360 camera. Now, one cool thing about the Signature, you have a light that's going to flow right in here, so you guys can see that right now, and it looks fantastic. It really makes a statement whenever you're driving this vehicle around at night. It looks really good. Full LED lights on this car, so you're going to have LED halos that are going to be your daytime running light, and you're going to have LED high beams, low beams, and LED fog lights, which are located way down here, if you guys can even see them. They're super tiny, but that's the good thing about LEDs. They don't take up as much space, so you can emit more light in a more compact space. One thing I don't like is you have this sort of fake thing here that's supposed to be, I guess, like where air could go through, but it doesn't. So out of all the manufacturers, I would have thought Mazda would have actually made that functional. And then of course you have the chrome piece, which is going to run the length of the bumper right there. So really good looking front end, really like the way it looks. Now coming to the wheels, you are going to have these 20-inch wheels, which are fantastic looking. I do wish they were a little bit darker, but then maybe that would just be kind of too much gray going on, especially with this color. They look great. I like the style of them. I just wish there was maybe like a black option or something like that. I feel like it would look really cool. But they are going to be wrapped in Falcon tires. Not a big fan of these tires, to be completely honest. I just don't think they do a great job putting the power down, but that could also be due to other factors as well. You've got this sort of chrome piece coming down here. You've got some chrome lining the entire window section, and then you have some chrome bars up here to put your crossbars and stuff like that. I really like the side profile of this car. I think it looks really good. You've got this line that starts all the way in the front, works its way down, starts to dissipate, and then you have this line on the rear haunch that starts. And then you do have this new badge, which is going to stand for Signature, and then all-wheel drive. So that is new for 2019. All right, so upon getting into the CX-9, you will notice a new feature. No, it's not the key. You do still have your lock, your unlock, your trunk release, and then your alarm, and then a tab on the back to pull out a physical key if the battery dies on either your key or the car. But when you lock the car, you can see the mirrors do fold in, and when you unlock it, they are going to fold out. So that is a new feature. And then coming up to the door handle, you do have your keyless entry, where you just push the button to lock and unlock, and that'll get you inside the car. Starting at the door, you have a real good use of materials. You have sort of a harder plastic up at the top. You're going to have soft leather lining the entire armrest and this area right here. You're going to have more auburn leather lining right here, and then you have this brushed aluminum piece, which supposedly is supposed to look like the end of like a katana sword. I guess I can kind of see it right here, which is kind of neat. But you can definitely tell it's brushed aluminum. It's got this real cold feeling to the touch. Really high quality stuff. This nice door handle. Then coming down, you're going to have this really thick door handle with this chrome accent here up top. And it also has the orange stitching there. And then you've got the good stuff, which is your rosewood, which is apparently made by a Japanese guitar manufacturer. I think it's called Fuji Guitars is what it's called. And then you have your window controls, your door locks, and then new for this year, if you turn this all the way to the bottom, you do have this to fold in your mirrors. Now coming down here, you do have an illuminated door sill, which says CX-9 branded floor mats, some aluminum switchgear here on the side, 2 setting memory seats, and then your Napa Auburn leather, which is just super supple, really, really good stuff. And you've got this black piping going all along the side with these black accents as you go up, perforations in the middle, and then your color matching stitching going along the side. Really nice attention to detail. You even have a nice little area here to rest your knees against that. And you can't see it now, but you do have a light right here, which is going to be an ambient light, which is really, really nice. The only downside is you can never really see it when you're sitting inside of the cabin, which is kind of a bummer. Over here to the side, you've got some controls. You have your liftgate control, your camera view, parking sensors, your lane keep assist to turn that on or off, and then your traction control next to that. And then coming down here, you have your gas tank release, and then your front hood release as well. Let's go ahead, check out the rest of the car. Quick look at the inside. All right, and your start-stop button is right here. When you put your foot in the brake, it's going to turn green, and then you just press it to start.
An official sponsor of Texas Athletics.
Whoa, sorry. All right, so starting with the steering wheel, you've got a really smooth quality leather steering wheel. Very, very smooth and soft to the touch. You even have specific stitching here that is only on the Signature. You have this aluminum piece here, which is cool how it kind of flows into the leather like that. Your Mazda symbol in the middle, Bluetooth commands over here to the left, so your audio, previous, next, your info button to control the screen, which I'll show you in just a second. Your adaptive cruise over here, and then you are going to have automatic wipers, rear wiper right there. Over to the left, you have your automatic lights, fog lamps, which are going to be right here, and then you push it forward for your automatic high beams. Now, as far as this info button, going to control this screen right up here. So if I hit that info button, it's going to take me through a few different screens. Now, I did travel to Austin and back, so be sure to stay tuned at the end of the video for the driving portion of the video. Really cool stuff. And yeah, pretty neat. And you have this sort of digital needle, which is really, really nice. Tack over to the left, fuel over to the right, and then your water temperature right there. Really easy setup. And then you have a little thing right here to control your interior illumination. Now, I do love how this piece here basically flows all the way from right here into the vent. I do wish it connected right there. You can see that big gap, but it still looks really cool. Bose sound system. You do have your heads-up display, which is one of the best heads-up displays. It's just really crisp, super clear, very easy to read. I never have any issues seeing it except when I'm using my phone. Another speaker back here. You do have this tablet style screen. Now, a lot of people aren't fans of this style of screen. I don't mind it. I personally don't think it looks bad. I have zero issues with it. Now, that's a personal preference. It would never be a make or break thing for me. I think there's only been a few cars where I just don't like the way they put it up. At least this one, for me, is kind of in a good area. It's not in my line of sight. So if I'm looking straight right here, it's kind of off right there. So it's not blocking my vision by any means, because if I'm looking here, I've got my heads-up display, I've got my gauges right here, and then I can see this out of the corner of my eye. So it's really not super bad. More leather here, although this part around the screen is hard, and then you have soft right there, which is pretty neat. But I do like this tiered design, how it kind of goes right here, right there, down, and then down again. Really cool. More aluminum here. I know that this is real stuff because I have the AC on right here, and it's really, really cold up to the top, and then the temperature starts to change as I go this way. And it feels really solid. Everything in here feels incredibly solid. Vents, dual zone climate control, heated steering wheel, cooled seats. One of the best cooled seats I've ever used, so it sucks hot air away as opposed to blowing cold air on your already hot body. And then you have your storage area here. Nice shifter with a leather wrapped boot with some stitching there. Put it in reverse. You have your camera, and then if I start to move a little bit, then that's when you're going to start to see your 360 camera come up, just like that. You also have a front camera too. Sport mode, just push that up. It'll say sport mode over here. Push it down, turns it right off. Simple stuff. Electronic parking brake, your commander control. So this is going to be for this screen up here. You can touch it, but it's a far reach. I'm 6 feet tall. My arm is fully extended right now, and I'm still just a little bit away. So I do have to do quite of a reach. So I suggest probably getting used to using this. Home button, music, navigation, back, and then your favorites over here to the right, your volume.
There's also a service of give me the VIN.
And then mute right there. Sorry, headphone users, I probably just scared the heck out of you. But like I said, there's that knee pad here. More of that rosewood coming right here, which it feels so good. You can hear just the grain from it. Aluminum accenting right there. Cup holders are interesting. You have this lip here that sort of gets in the way when you have smaller cups, so you guys can see how it's sort of getting in the way with the smaller cups. But if you have bottles of water or anything like that, it's not an issue. It fits in there just fine. Then you have your armrest, which is this sort of two-tier design. So you have some stitching here. It opens up this way, or it can open up that way. I can still reach in there with one arm. And then if you open up both, you can see your 2 USB ports. The back one is for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you do have that. And so here's me plugging in my phone with Android Auto. It's really good. SD card holder, auxiliary. You have area to put stuff in here. I have the key to one of my future reviews coming up, which is the 2019 Subaru Forester. Really good vehicle, so be sure you guys stay tuned for that. Area over here, glove box, which is lined in felt, so anything that's in there that sort of would rattle around usually won't, because you have this to stop the clicky noise. Up here you do have a frameless mirror design. Sunglass holder right there, if you can see that. There we go. You do have LED lights in here, which look great. So when the cabin is lit up at night, the LED lights really do a good job, and it's just such a beautiful cabin at night. It really is. Do you have a little bit of a moonroof? Nothing too crazy. So you don't have a pano, which isn't an option, unfortunately. That would be cool. And you have a little bit of like a mood light here, which kind of shines a soft spotlight kind of here in the middle at night. Mirror with a card holder, LED light up here. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the front of the car. Let's go ahead, check out the back, see the room. And there's one other thing I forgot to show you guys. If you can see this, you do have dual pane windows. So hopefully you can get a good look at this. If I can get it to focus, there we go. So, yep, there you go, guys. Helps it keep it a little bit quieter. Coming to the back of the CX-9, you have sort of the same design as the front. So your auburn leather here, your aluminum piece right here, which is still going to be the same cool to the touch feel. You have this sunscreen right here for kids in the back. So if you have children or anything, it can help keep a lot of the light from getting in. And then right over here, you're going to have some storage pockets, your Bose speaker sound system, and you even have illuminated door sills back here as well, if you guys can see that. Cool. So getting in, one thing that you're gonna see is you do have screens on this one. So Mazda decked this one out for me. So that is an accessory option, I believe. Now, I would say if you have kids, you don't own iPads or something like that, I wouldn't. If you don't own iPads, I would get it. If you do own iPads, I would not get it, and just find something to strap the iPads to the back. So I'll show you why in just a second. Ugh. So hopping in, first of all, I'm sitting behind myself, so I have the memory seat setting to my driving position. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have a really good amount of room sitting behind myself. That's about almost 3.5 inches, and when I go down, it gets bigger because the top of the seat is sort of like at an angle, if you guys can see that. My feet room is really good. My feet slide in, no issues. 2 pockets right there, 2 pockets over there as well. Now let's go ahead and turn on this screen. You guys can see me as well. What's up? Mazda, you can see it's got an insane glare on it. You can literally see everything. It's like a mirror almost. It's pretty insane. But yeah, takes a while to load up, and the graphics are kind of meh. I mean, I would suggest just playing movies on it. You can plug in, you know, some ports and stuff here on the side, but I don't know, it's probably an option I personally would skip. And yeah, you guys can see how the graphics look. It's kind of meh. So coming down here, you do have heated seats right there, all your climate controls, your vents. You do have the same leather quality and stuff back here. Looks really, really good. And you fold the armrest down. It actually folds down onto the seat, which is great. So your cup holders are going to stay right there, even when you tilt the seat back. And you have an area to put stuff in with two 2-amp USB ports right here, which is nice. Now, as far as headroom goes, so I'm 6 feet tall, once again, sitting behind myself. Here is my headroom. So here's me. Hey, everyone. And here's my headroom. So pretty good. You do have a little bit of like an indent. You guys can see the indent right here in the ceiling. And it gives me a little bit of extra room. I have big hair, so, you know, I still have about 3.5 inches. That's a lot of headroom. And then putting the seat up a little bit more if you need to sit straight up, because you do have third row in here. If you want to give them a little bit more room, it gets a little bit tighter. I'd say about, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, maybe. So it does get a little bit tighter the more you go up. One other thing is you sit up higher in the back seat than you do in the front seat. So you're like looking down on the front passengers, which is an odd feeling. Not sure if I like it. And then of course you still get a great view of that beautiful interior on the front. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the back seat. You have LED lights back here as well, as you guys can see there. And so let's go ahead and check out the trunk, because I refuse to get into the third row. I cannot fit. For those of you that really want to know though, here's 2 cup holders there, and then you have 2 cup holders over here. You have an LED light back here as well, if you can see that. And yes, the third rows do fold up. They're not really big. I would suggest just using them in a pinch, but just to show you guys how they work, really simple. So there's this right here, or you can just move the entire seat forward, which I would suggest is the easiest way. So it goes forward really, really far. So if you have a car seat, you should be able to leave the car seat in, move it forward, and then still manage to get in this little area right here. So coming to the back, those are your seats. All you gotta do is fold those up. I can't do the headrest, but you can see just looking, it's kind of like a tight squeeze to get in there. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and check out the trunk. So getting into the trunk of the CX-9. Now, first of all, the trunk actually opens pretty high. So if you're above 6 feet tall, you shouldn't have a problem with hitting your head or anything like that. I took this to Sam's to make my usual Sam's run, and I'll show you guys that video right now. All right, guys, so I made my usual Sam's run. I didn't get a lot. I got some flank steak, which I can easily just throw underneath here. No big deal. So you do have that area. And then I got, where's this? 55 pounds of dog food. I have a golden doodle, so she eats a ton. So I'm gonna get this. Good gosh. Hope this doesn't rip. So that should be fine, we'll see. Nice. But yeah, you can definitely fit a lot more in there, especially with the third row folded down and the second row folded down. However, I don't have a lot of stuff to show you guys, but you can see the exact cubic feet of the CX-9 right here on the screen, so you guys can take a look at that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the trunk area. Let's go ahead and see what's under the hood. All right, under the hood of the 2019 CX-9, it's the same power plant you've had since this generation came out. So it is a 4-cylinder. That is the only engine option. It's a 2.5 liter turbocharged and direct injected 4-cylinder. It's going to make 227 horsepower on 87 octane or 250 horsepower on 91 or 93 octane, depending on where you live. So 310 pound-feet of torque is available on either octane of fuel. So no matter what, you always have 310 pound-feet of torque. Now, this is the Signature, so it comes standard with all-wheel drive, though front-wheel drive is an option. The only transmission is a 6-speed automatic, torque-converted automatic. And yeah, so you have your fuel economy figures right here, as you guys can see. Now this is a pretty interesting engine. It's very, very potent, though as you guys will see in the drive, it's definitely tuned for daily driving and nothing more. So they basically took it out, drove it, and tuned it to drive how people would normally drive. So it doesn't really come on the way that you would expect, and I'll show you guys that right now. And if you guys are liking this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you guys are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I have new content every single week, so I'm putting out at least 1 to 2 car reviews a week. So if you love cars, if you love car content, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot, and I just love making this content for you guys. And for those of you that have subscribed, thank you so much. I absolutely love doing these videos for you guys, and I can't wait to have some more opportunities for y'all. So about to take the Mazda to Austin. This is the Subaru, so this is my next review coming up. So be sure to stay tuned for my review of the all-new Subaru Forester Sport. Now here is the Mazda. So I'm gonna drive this all the way to Austin. So let's go ahead and hop in. See what kind of range we have. So it's on a full tank right now. And it looks like, it says I have 373 miles of range, but that's with an average of 20.2. So I'm going to be driving nothing but highway from here to Austin. Here is how many miles it will take for me to get to Austin. So doing normal math, I'm going to see if it actually deducts that amount from here, or if the range will go up, because I'm sure my fuel economy will go up as well. So we'll see how this goes. All right, everyone, so far I've traveled 65.2 miles. It says I've averaged about 27.2 miles per gallon, and it says I have 363 miles of range left, which when I left it said I had 373 miles of range left. So I know that I've driven well over 10 miles, but I think because the MPG went up, this will change with the MPG to let you know how much range you have left if you keep driving this way, and then etc. So anyways, I'm here at the check stop near Waco, Texas. Gonna get me some kolaches, and then about another 2 hours or so to Austin. All right, so you guys are probably wondering why it's nighttime. Well, my phone died when I got to Austin, and I just so happened to bring the one charger that didn't work. So I was basically going all day without a working cell phone. Now, just to show you guys sort of where we are when we last left off. So I did go downtown in Austin, drive around town for quite a bit, and then back on the highway, and I did actually give it a good amount of gas while I was on the highway. So I definitely didn't drive with as much cruise control. I drove like I normally would. So I'm at 23.7 miles per gallon on average, and I drove a total of 376.6 miles. So that's pretty decent, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's not you know, super bad. So let's check out the fuel economy figures. So it says I should get about 26 on the highway, 20 in the city, 23 combined. So since I drove, you know, around downtown, 23.7 is pretty much on par with where I should be, and I have 16 miles left, so I almost got about 400 miles out of this tank, which once again is not bad at all. All right, it's time to see how much this thing is going to cost to fill up. I want to get the most performance on the rest of my week with the vehicle, so I'm putting in the premium gas. Right now gas is $2.38 roundabout for premium, 93 octane, and had 16 miles left, as you guys saw. So we're gonna fill her up and see what it does. All right, so here's where we stopped, $41.15. Guys, please subscribe, hit that like button, because I can't keep doing this. That's a lot of money. Oh gosh, I don't know why I'm complaining though. We definitely have the best gas prices in Texas. But yeah, there you go. Says it's about 17 gallons, so that's interesting because it does say that it has about a 19.5 gallon fuel tank. But either way, $41 to fill it up. There you go. Now, the CX-9 is still a really good driving vehicle. There are minor complaints that I have about this, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But to start off, first of all, this engine. So the engine is the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. I have full premium 93 octane in here. So as you guys saw, I just went on my road trip to Austin, and then after I got back, I was basically on empty, filled it up with 93 octane, boom. So this is what I have underneath the hood right now. So it's putting out 250 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot of torque, and you know, it's a very lively vehicle. The engine, however, doesn't perform the way you think it does. It's very tuned for low end, so, but you do have some really good handling because it is a Mazda, so it grips really, really well. And it's pretty good, you know, for a big SUV, it's actually really good. So, throw it back in normal mode real quick. Here are my complaints about this vehicle. Now, first of all, the all-wheel drive on here is kind of wonky. You know, I've been in other all-wheel drive vehicles that are putting out lots more power, and I've never experienced the front wheels still slipping whenever you give it like full throttle. I mean, the whole point of all-wheel drive is to be able to put the power down and put it down well. This one, sport mode, floor it. It kind of cut power a little bit there because the front slipped just a little bit. It's a little interesting. You know, with traction control off though, it'll actually spin the front wheels quite a bit. And you know, it's not really a huge issue, but when you have all-wheel drive, especially with Mazda touting that their all-wheel drive is a predictive all-wheel drive, I really wish that this system would distribute power a little bit better or a little bit sooner. I just don't think it does a good job of, you know, shuffling the power back and forth, which is weird. I've driven other current generation Mazda vehicles, and I don't seem to have that problem. I just drove the turbocharged Mazda CX-5. You guys can click the card up in the top right hand corner if you want to watch that, but that really didn't have the same issue. It only did it when I was like super hardcore turned, and you know, I would give it gas. That was the only time it did it. All right, so I'm gonna throw it in sport mode. We got traction control off. Turn off my blinker. Let's see how she do. I don't think anyone would ever throw a big SUV around a corner this fast, but I will. All right, hard brake into this corner, pitch it in. Oh, we had the stability control kick in a little bit there. Interesting. I mean, it does a great job. For a massive SUV, this thing is such a good performer. It's pretty impressive. Now, back to the motor. I forgot to mention that for you guys. So it's very linear. The way it builds power is very progressive. It doesn't ever have a point where it just smacks you in the face with boost, which is either a good or a bad thing. I really like the smack in the face with boost kind of feeling. Doesn't give you that very, very smooth, very progressive, very linear, very naturally aspirated like. The surprising part though is when you're on the highway, and like I said, because it's cruising at such a high RPM, when you dip into it at 2,500, you're already 100% in full boost. So you have the full 310 pound-feet of torque just ready to go. And so as soon as you dip into it, you just feel this slow diesel-like surge. So if you have ever driven like a diesel truck, especially a powerful diesel truck, it has the same feeling as that. It's almost like you really have to pay attention to see that you're moving at a quick pace. So when I watch the speedometer and I barely dip into the gas, I just see it climb at a pretty quick rate, but it doesn't really feel like you're going that quickly. It's a very surreal feeling. But yeah, so to recap, very comfortable car. The sound quality in here is fantastic from the Bose sound system. It's very tranquil in here. You don't have a ton of road noise. Now, I do have a little bit actually coming in right now, and it's kind of windy today, so you can hear a little bit of wind noise sort of in this area. But I don't have to yell. I can talk at a pretty low volume and you guys can still hear me. It's very nice. You're just cocooned in luxury in here, it feels like. I mean, just when you look around through your peripheral vision, it feels like you're in a much more expensive vehicle. It feels like you're in a $50,000 to $60,000 SUV. It really, really does. Just the way this chassis is designed and engineered, it's incredible what they're able to do for such a small company. And yeah, now that you have Apple CarPlay, that's a huge plus. And then the cooled seats are great. My wife used the cooled seats one time and she was shocked by how quickly they worked. They work extremely fast because once again, they suck the air away instead of blowing air onto you. And yeah, it's really good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the 2019 Mazda CX-9 Signature. It really is a really great bargain for money. You do make a little bit of sacrifices as far as practicality is concerned, but if you don't need the large amounts of space, if you're the type of family that can live a little bit on the smaller side and you can justify having a vehicle like this, and you just love that driving performance and you just love that engaging feeling and you just really enjoy having that passion when you drive, this is seriously one of the best SUVs as far as just excitement and the overall emotional feel goes. It feels very Italian in the emotion way, but then of course you're backed up by Japanese engineering because, you know, Mazda and Subaru are probably the only two that I know of that still build almost all of their cars 100% in Japan. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to comment below what other vehicles you guys want me to review. I'm always doing the best I can to review those cars and get them to my channel as soon as I possibly can. So be sure to comment below. Also, comment below, out of these three cars, which would you choose? The Mazda CX-9, Toyota Highlander, Honda Pilot. Out of those three, which would you choose? And if you wouldn't choose either of these three, comment which one you would choose instead and why. But thank you guys. Subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye.